able to still able to macro despite losing that pile and going to the red. Incontrol not quite able to capitalize on it through his macro game. Looks like he's planting a forge to follow a couple of gateways as well. So gonna go up to 5 gateways, but now Axslav has the informational advantage, he has the troop advantage, and he's going to press it. So Incontrol in a dire situation here. I'm almost curious if it actually looks like he's even on income. Incontrol with some nice troop placement there with his Colossus, but actually 2 Colossus advantage. Axslav, pull it back, pull it back. Looks like he is going to back off now, but Incontrol still economically behind. He's going to have to hold position here. He's actually ahead in harvesters though, and that could be the difference here, is a little bit, that could be even that little bit enough to get him back in this match, simply because Axslav lost that pylon there, was delayed on, was in the red, wasn't able to build 2 harvesters there where Incontrol probably was. Maybe the difference there. I'm not sure, maybe reading a little bit too much into it. But right now, Incontrol is really pumping the probes, and I almost wonder if Axslav is, nope, he's keeping up with it, but maybe missed 1 or 2 there. Twilight Council warping in. Stargate with, wow, with Void Rays being produced to try to counter the Colossi. Well, Incontrol still sticking to Colossi. Second Stargate being built. And Incontrol is either going to need to build a buttload of Stalkers or, and I like this actually, charge. So Axslav essentially deciding to switch to a Void Ray Zealot army. So the Void Rays will take care of the Colossus that have a lot of hit points and will be taken out rather rapidly by those Colossi. And then the Zealots underneath to charge into these Stalkers to just devastate them with their high damage per second ratio. So high DPS, so yeah. Incontrol needs to scout this, and he needs to scout this now. It looks like he does have an observer wandering into Axslav's base, but needs to move out towards the main. This is going to be close. Okay, he sees the first Void Ray, and this is when he just needs to, it looks like that's going to, it's damage done though, coming across, so he just really dodged a bullet there. He needs to produce as many Stalkers as he can immediately, and you can see him warping in a lot of Stalkers. And I'm kind of curious how this army composition is going to work out. It's kind of a micro situation here. Axslav needs to be very, very careful and approach kind of from odd angles with his Void Rays, and hopefully get in close and not take any damage, essentially, from these Colossus on the Zealots, because the Zealots will absolutely melt otherwise. It looks like he still does have a decent Stalker composition in his army, but still a lot of Colossi otherwise. So it's going to be really, I almost feel like Incontrol has the better advantage, because he can just kind of attack move into Axslav, and it's going to be, and Axslav will be in kind of a desperate situation. And I like the upgrade from Incontrol, realizing he's going to have to stick to a Stalker-heavy army temporarily. He's upgrading Blink to increase mobility and basically provide a higher mobility green, kind of dodge the Zealots using Blink. Engaging now, the Zealots getting melted. It looks like the forward charge was upgraded, so beautiful timing on Incontrol before that, but that's still a lot of Void Rays, and those Colossus are melting those Stalkers in the meantime. It looks like Incontrol is going to lose this fight. He needs to back out now. It looks like he is doing so. Has a superior number of Colossus, but it doesn't matter. Charge just upgrading as well. Unfortunately, these Zealots charging into their doom. Looks like Incontrol does have a proxy pylon where he can warp units in, and that's the engagement he wants. The Stalkers on top. Axslav needs to back those out instead of engaging them there. He needs to save those engagements for the Colossi, but instead engaging the Stalkers heads up. Looks like the Stalkers easily going to be able to take them out. Finally, Axslav backing them out. Looks like he was able to kill the Stalkers, and now going to work on the Colossi, and those are going to melt rather rapidly, but a huge army of Stalkers being built otherwise. They're going to be able to quickly take out the rest of these units, and right now it looks like Incontrol still going to maintain control. I'm kind of curious about it looks like Incontrol is actually going to end up falling behind, because somewhere in there, Axslav able to sneak an expansion, missing at 6 o'clock position. So a very dangerous, a very tentative situation here for Axslav, although I feel like he's in a good position to do it. If he takes this third base, if he can keep Incontrol back, he will take the economic lead and end up winning it. But essentially, he's got to survive the onslaught in the meantime. Incontrol running up with a large amount of Stalkers. He has no visual on Axslav's base, but unfortunately, this is not a very good engagement point for Incontrol, and he's not focusing the unit he needs to. He's just focusing that one along the side instead of that group of Zealots up above. Looks like now he's taking care of those Zealots. Still a lot of Stalkers. The Blink upgrade is there. Let's see if he's going to blink. He does blink forward to try to take care of, unfortunately, I think he was blinking to the wrong place. Once again, the Void Rays still survive. Incontrol going to be repelled, it looks like, just barely by the 2 leftover Void Rays and the Zealots, but Incontrol also building another pylon on site to try to warp units in. Axslav very intelligent in taking care of that. Looks like he's also going to be able to take care of this pylon in the middle of the map, and now Incontrol in a really desperate situation. Looks like Axslav has managed to secure the 6 o'clock location, still a standing army outside of his base, and really he doesn't have much of an army to... It looks like he's even on supply, but does not have much of an army, does not have map control really. He can push out and take an expansion of his own. Axslav wandering up to the 3 o'clock, he's exploring for Incontrol's expansions. You know that basically that he's going to have to sneak into this stage. Let's see if he actually just patrols that probe out to the corner. Incontrol getting another observer out. Looks like he wants to kind of get a visual before he does anything further. A couple sentries out in the field, and I'm almost wondering if this is for more force field play with those stalkers in combination to try to minimize those zealots once again. Not any additional colossi though, only the single colossi out in the field, so it's going to be up to stalkers and sentries to deal with void rays and zealots, which it still looks like, yeah, void ray zealot army here for Axslav. Axslav's income though, as you can see, is sneaking ahead. He's got a ton of void rays. The other problem with void rays is you're really pinned back in your base. They do so much damage so quickly. If you do not contend with them out in the field almost immediately, they will take out your nexus. Looks like, yeah, Axslav once again sending out another scout, doing a... yeah, his economy is absolutely huge. Incontrol's actually mined out of his main. Sorry for pulling away from the battle right there. But Incontrol with a nice engagement point, able to snipe units. I'm not sure why Axslav decided to back out of there, but running away with his zealots. Just feeling, I guess it was a split attack, running away with the zealots. The stalkers blinking in, going to be able to snipe significantly more units. And now Axslav in a lot of trouble because he has a huge army right in his base, and he doesn't have an army to deal with it, to cope with it. It looks like he has 2 Archons that are morphing on his front door. The sentry's wandering in a little bit late. They're not able to blink up. But now blinking forward and Incontrol, wanting to snipe that Void Ray army to again improve his mobility, improve his chances in that regard. That Archon melting. Looks like Axslav was expecting a more zealot heavy composition, and Incontrol instead sticking to stalkers, sticking to colossi. More zealots wandering out. The stalkers trying to run and get a force field. Beautiful play by Incontrol, using the inverse force field to block those zealots out. And this natural expansion completely exposed. I think Axslav's main's actually close. Yeah, it is mined out. So this will do significant damage. I mean, anytime you lose an Nexus is significant damage. And more stalkers pouring forth. Still that 6 o'clock expansion up. So Axslav's not actually out of this, but he is in dire straits. Let's see if Incontrol, he really needs to concentrate on actually taking some of this infrastructure out. Looks like Axslav just sitting back and trying to rebuild an army. I'm kind of, okay, yeah, he's getting some of those zealots out, getting some more void rays out. But and another blink forward directly into the zealots, and actually kind of an odd situation where I'm almost wondering about the effectiveness of that, because he was blinking into zealots, and you don't want to be in proximity to zealots, but it was also along a blockade route though. Incontrol blinking his way back, trying to micro his way out of the situation, back towards the Colossus, is whittling these zealots down bit by bit. He needs to pick off these void rays once again before he ends up losing the Colossus, backing the Colossus out, letting them take care of the zealots. Beautiful, beautiful micro by Incontrol in an absolutely crazy fight right there. And it looks like Axslav is not able to keep up, even though he does have the spare base. It's just not able to contend with Incontrol's micro and keep his army up. Right now, just significantly lower on Harvesters. Looks like there's a probe out waiting to take that 3 o'clock location, but I'm not sure that it makes a difference. I think Incontrol was able to take this match just through some beautiful micro, some beautiful decisions on unit composition, switching it up. Oh, that gateway just a little bit left there, taken out. And I do believe Incontrol has taken it. 6 o'clock position is not going to come into factor. More blinking around. Looks like another army was being comprised right there, but it's just too little, too late. Axslav actually hunting it down, now being backed up into the Colossi. And I don't think, it looks like I'm crossing the opposite side. Archon was able to warp, and I'm kind of curious about this Archon, because Archon, I mean, they're just very short range. I think the Stalkers can just kind of, you know, focus fire and hop around them. Looks like he actually blinked underneath. Wow. Letting the Colossus absorb the damage from the Zealots. Unfortunately, too many of them. That was the matchup he wanted there. Loses the Colossus, unfortunately. But able to escape in the meantime with a bit of vision. Let's see if he just backs off at this stage now with a huge economic advantage, because once he gets this 3 o'clock running, of course. Actually, I'm not sure if he realizes this 6 o'clock has been running all this time, but it's completely undefended. Okay, now he knows he's going to move there and just walk up and take it out. Now that Axslav has absolutely nothing to defend it, he's not in a position where he can defend it. Let's see if Axslav goes in for a counterattack towards the main. So Stalker's wandering up, going to wipe everything out. A proxy pylon being built from Axslav to try to get back in this. Warp units here from the 3 o'clock and just try to play an elimination match. I'm kind of wondering what these guys are banking at this stage. It looks like Incontrol is just at 300. Sorry, Axslav at 830, Incontrol just at 100. So it is a very low mineral count game at this stage. Axslav going to end up losing the 6 o'clock. Needs to. Okay, he does have Stalkers there to take care of that pylon, and that would. Oh, and I think that. Yeah, that is going to be it. He does have a counter pylon to warp things in. So now Axslav down to 1 base. Looked like he was controlling for large portions of that match, but some beautiful micro by Incontrol. I think he's going to end up taking it here. Looks like there was a large counterattack to the natural expansion. I actually missed this on screen. Apologies for that. But the Nexus to the natural expansion taken out. Still a marauding army for Axslav, and really you can afford to lose that natural expansion. You have a lot of minerals left. Really the key is the 3 o'clock base and a lot of this infrastructure. And that, again, that's kind of the devastation of these Void Braves. Another big engagement here to the middle, and Incontrol just blinking up to the high ground, or trying to blink up to the high ground, so these Zealots can't really do any damage, and those Colossus are going to town, having a field day. That's Axslav's army right there, getting completely wiped out. I don't think Axslav actually has an economy to recover this. He has, yeah, there's GG. Beautiful play from both players. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you for listening. Again, Green Forest Tournament, live commentary, Diggity Day 9, Korean Pro Gaming booths. It's going to be awesome. At the SC2 tournament section in Team Liquid. Please RSVP, and otherwise check out sc2gg.com. Special shout out to JP because he's right there on the screen. High time, JP. Yes. Yeah. Thanks for listening, guys.